It's Thursday Night Hoops from Stegman Coliseum in Athens, Georgia, as the LSU Tigers have come to town to take on the 22nd ranked Georgia Lady Bulldogs. As we step inside, I'm Matt Stewart, joined by Carly Smith. Lady Bulldogs won 5 of their last 6 games. Carly, Monday it was a buzzer beater, improving to 5-2 in the SEC as the Lady Dogs knocked off number 19 Arkansas.
Monday night, talk about a dramatic finish. Sarah Ashley Barker, 2-time SEC player for the Dogs. She's a gritty player, and you also see Gabby Connolly doing a lot of the work for Georgia. 6 out of the team's last 8 points against Arkansas was from the arm of Gabby Connolly. You see Jordan Isaacs, a huge rebound, and gets the ball back to the leader of the team, Gabby Connolly. Buzzer beater, the clock's running out. Gabby Connolly pulls up and she sinks it to win the game. You can tell that Georgia is ecstatic to beat another ranked opponent, and that is some momentum coming into Stegman Coliseum tonight.
And senior guard Gabby Connolly says she had practiced that shot 100 times. 3 nights ago it paid off. She scored 6 of the team's final 8 points in that big victory. LSU playing their best basketball this season after a dreadful non-conference start, led by Atlanta native and senior guard Kayla Pointer.
Kayla Pointer, she is smooth, she has great vision, and this girl can shoot from the arc. She can also take it to the paint. She is a leader, a dominant presence on the court, and she's leading the team in most categories. And like you said, Matt, she's a Georgia native, so this is her homecoming today. We're going to see her be scrappy, we're going to see her take it to the basket, and we're going to see her be a huge threat for the offense here for LSU.
And she's averaging 20 points per game in conference play, and the Tigers, last 4 games decided by 4 points or less. They've gone 2-2, including a loss to number 4 South Carolina on Sunday. We expect tonight's game to be just as tight.
LSU, they've won 2 out of their last 3 games, and their loss was against a very impressive South Carolina team. They just lost, like you said, by less than 4 points. And so this is a huge matchup. They're coming in here rolling confident that LSU can quite literally play with anyone in the country.
Tigers at 6-7, 4-3 in the SEC. They're tied for 6th with 15th ranked Kentucky. They start tonight on offense. 2-1 on the road, all those games in the SEC. Inside they go to Afua, another Georgia native. She missed up close, but the rebound is controlled by Trazi. On the wing, 3-pointer, knocked down by Carly C. So take a look at the starting 5 for the Lady Bulldogs. Same starting 5 they've had the entire season. Conley, Caldwell, Morrison, Isaacs, and Stady, and back the other way. A blocking foul called on Georgia.
And that is a very senior-heavy lineup. Obviously, Jordan Isaacs, the only lady on the roster that is not a senior, and so they've got a lot of leadership on this team, and their goal this year was to take it upon themselves to make a dominant presence in the nation, sending a message out to the country that, hey, they're here to stay.
Pointer with the inbounds. Inside they go. Afua hits her second shot, 1 of 2 from the floor. LSU has a 4-0 lead. And here come the Tigers in the starting 5 for LSU. Pointers, C, Spencer, Trazi, and Afua.
And like Georgia, LSU has a very senior-heavy lineup, a lot of leadership, and they're going to look to control the tempo as they have so far in today's game. And Georgia's going to need to really take care of the ball right here and limit the amount of turnovers. We know that has been an issue in games in the past, especially in the first quarter.
Isaacs got the rebound off the Stady miss. And Pointer runs the point. Averaging a team-leading 16.2 points per game, also 4.5 assists per game. Air ball on her first attempt, but saved by LSU as they bang it off the foot of Q Morrison.
And Pointer, since SEC play, has averaged 19.9 points per game. This is substantially larger than her regular season average. And so she's really turned it on, especially the second half of the season.
Joni Taylor in her 6th season as the Lady Bulldogs head coach. She actually was an assistant coach at LSU the year before Nikki Fargas took over. And the Tigers out to a 6-0 start. Inside to Stady, and Georgia gets its first bucket after 2 minutes and 22 seconds of action.
Jenna Stady, she's going to need to be a huge force at center for Georgia. When she's on, the Dogs are on, and so they're going to need to play off of her aggressiveness and her willingness not only to get boards, but to really play it tough in the paint.
Afua with the miss, and Georgia's going to run. Caldwell step through and lay up with the left hand. Maya Caldwell coming off a nice game on Monday night. 9.6 rebounds, 4 assists, gets her first bucket of the night.
LSU, they're going to try to control the tempo, the pace of the game. And so we know that Georgia, they run a quick offense and they're gritty on defense. So right now they need to play their game and not give in to LSU just kind of handling the ball at this point.
Traveling called on Trozzi as you take a look at Nikki Fargas in her 10th season as LSU's head coach, second winningest coach in LSU history. She's led the Tigers to 6 NCAA tournaments in her 9 seasons. But they started 1-4 in non-conference play this year. She goes, I don't even know who that team was that we saw in November, but they're playing much better now.
Absolutely, they've hit their groove, and you know, a lot of representation on the sidelines here. The SEC actually has 7 out of 14 head women's basketball coaches who are black in the SEC, and so that's a huge statement, but just a lot of representative people and people of impact on the sideline today in Stegman.
Steal for the Lady Bulldogs, and Q Morrison running the break. Drops it back for Isaac. She got fouled on the play. Actually, Maya Caldwell, pardon me. And Caldwell will go to the line.
And this is going to be clutch and huge here that the Dogs can execute when they're sent to the free throw line. It's these points, not only in transition, but also when LSU gives you an opportunity to score, they need to take it.
Caldwell, 84% free throw shooter. Georgia, an extraordinarily good free throw shooting team. Number 2 in the conference at 75%.
Georgia has made a statement on offense in this season. We've known in years in the past, Georgia can play defense. Dogs travel, there's no doubt about this. But this year, they've definitely stepped up their game, especially offensively.
And after falling behind 6-0, the Lady Bulldogs have scored the last 6 points to pull even. Spencer comes off the floor for LSU. Trozzi sets the high ball screen. And Young, Tiara Young has been on a tear. Double figures in 6 straight games, averaging 15 points per game the last 6 after averaging only 6 points per game in their first 7.
And LSU right now is doing a great job of making Georgia's defense move. The more that they can cause havoc and cause miscommunication from the Georgia defense, the more that they are going to have the opportunity to score and also cause breakdown for the Georgia defense.
Lob inside for Stady and a double team, and missed up close. Isaac's got the rebound, clears it to Caldwell. She missed the 3-point attempt, and Young brings it up for LSU. Gets it ahead to C. Jalen Cherry on the wing. LSU's going to let the air out of the ball. They want to limit the number of possessions. Georgia wants to be a high possession team. Georgia wants to have 80 to 90 possessions per game. It'll be difficult for them to get that tonight against this slow tempo LSU team.
And not only is it having those possessions, but it needs to be taking advantage. For example, in that case, Genesati bodying up and making sure to get the rebounder. When you have a look, make sure that you have a presence in the box and have an option for your team to even rebound the ball. So it's going to be taking smart looks, smart shots, and also just a lot of communication on the court for Georgia tonight.
You saw that Georgia's already committed 4 turnovers. They lead the SEC 19 turnovers per game. But these are also the top 2 teams in the conference in turning the opponent over as Young hits her second shot.
Ball control is going to be a huge factor in this game, and we know Georgia tends to get cleaner as the game progresses, but right now they really just need to limit the amount of times that the ball is in transition.
C missed the bunny as Georgia avoids more points off turnovers. 6 minutes in, LSU on top by 4. LSU 10-6 early lead. Take a look at the Nike Team Elite notable players. You see Kayla Pointer, Q Morrison, best of friends, played on that Nike Elite team. Jordan Isaacs did as well, former Lady Bulldog Kayla Hubbard. And we bring this up because Kayla's father, Kurt, the late Kurt Pointer, was the coach of that team and cultivated so much great talent here in the state of Georgia, AAU basketball.
It definitely is an advantage to come into your collegiate experience having some head starts and knowing the dynamics of players around you, not only on your team but in the country. And you can tell that Morrison and Pointer have formed a great relationship. And you know what? This is Pointer's homecoming back to Georgia, potentially the last time that Pointer and Morrison could ever compete against one another. And you know, being a former student athlete, I remember playing against other players on different teams that I knew prior to college. And you know, it makes you want to step your game up a little bit, show off your skills a little extra. So that's an added adrenaline boost and also just some friendly competition that we'll see on the court tonight.
And in the middle of all those basketball photos, you saw the photo of them together at their Sweet 16 party together. You can't get much closer than that. That sounds like best friends to me.
You know, I would bet they had a basket set up at that Sweet 16, right? They were probably making layups, shooting threes at that party for sure.
Well, both of them have been instrumental in their team's success in their careers. And you see Kayla played at Holy Innocents, a native of Marietta there in the Georgia area, wears a ring in her dad's honor. He passed away back in 2017. 34th member of LSU's 1,000-point club, and she is the niece of LSU head coach Nikki Fargas. Nikki's sister is Kayla's mother.
It's a family affair, absolutely. And you know, she really does lead the LSU team so well, not only statistically, but as a senior. And you know, she does lead in points, assists, rebounds, block shots per game, you name it, she's on it.
You got to wonder how that recruiting went. Was there ever any doubt that Kayla was going to go play at LSU?
I mean, you know, you want to stick in your hometown state, but just to have that relationship with your coach, I'm sure it's priceless.
Cherry the miss, the rebound by Trazi, and she's going to be fouled on the putback attempt. And Coach Nikki Fargas felt like they really needed to get a lot out of Awa Trazi tonight. Georgia's got so much depth on that front line, not as more than LSU. LSU does not have as much, and they felt like Trazi needed to come up big for the Tigers tonight.
And she is a presence. She is a strong presence at forward, and Trazi definitely looking to, you know, take advantage of this next basket. But Georgia needs to limit the amount of freebies, the free opportunities that they give LSU, either free throws or turnovers.
You saw Trazi's numbers on the season. She's a native of Toulouse, France. One of several French players on this LSU roster. Started her collegiate career at Northwest Florida State College before transferring to Baton Rouge. 5-point lead for the Tigers. Georgia's won 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams since Nikki Fargas has been the head coach. Conley, first shot of the night for her. Trazi got the roll. 7-point lead for LSU. Trazi with her first bucket from the field. foul away from the ball. Looks like it's going to be on Asia Petty. Lady Bulldogs 17-point winners when they met in Baton Rouge last season. Just the second win for Georgia there since 2002.
And I'm sure LSU has that bittersweet taste in their mouth. Last year, they were beat in their hometown of LSU, and obviously, you know, they want to come into Georgia and really pay back the Dogs tonight.
47 total points from Conley and Stady in that game. The 24 for Stady, by the way, was a career high. Young looking for that high ball screen and got it. Now the give back to Trazi. And Trazi with her second bucket. She's 2 of 3 from the floor and has 5 points and leads all scorers.
The freshman stepping up tonight, just as Coach Fargas needed her to do, and she had great positioning. Her feet face towards the rim, sinks a bucket, and honestly, if she continues to play like this, she's really going to make an impact in this game.
Morrison off the iron, and Trazi comes away with the long rebound and running the break for the LSU Tigers. Pointer is yet to score in the game.
Neither has Morrison, so maybe they're pretty similar stats tonight.
And they tied each other up, and the jump ball is going to go Georgia's way.
And Q Morrison, she is just an all-around player, but you see Trazi, look at her positioning, great look, and she gets a fancy roll there from the basket. But like I said, she's a freshman. She's got to be a big body in the paint for LSU and definitely going to make a dent in the scoreboard tonight.
Morrison got fouled on the drive to the bucket by Trazi.
Morrison is that all-around player. She is the glue that holds the Dogs together. Not only is she extremely scrappy on defense, but she always goes into the game with such a pride in not only being matched up against LSU's best offensive threat, but knowing that she can score from anywhere on the court and just play such a big impact for Georgia every night.
Pursuing her master's degree in sport pedagogy, which I was told 27 minutes ago was sport teaching. I had no idea what that was, so good for me. I came to the University of Georgia today and learned something.
You did. You learned something. And, you know, it is super incredible that all of the seniors, not only have they graduated, but they're pursuing their masters. And that just is a huge statement for this team, excelling both on the court and academically.
It's got to be some kind of a record. 4 senior players pursuing their masters, so all of them with their undergraduate degrees already. Cherry with the scoop shot, got fouled. She'll go to the line.
And that's the aggressiveness that LSU is going to bring tonight. They cannot hesitate driving to the paint, and you can see that Stady just wasn't completely in position to block Cherry, but just a great job. They're just going to the paint, and that's the heart, that's the hustle that's going to make her stand out tonight.
Cherry misses the first free throw. Just 3 of 8 shooting free throws this season. Coach Fargas wanted to see her team at the line at least 20 times tonight.
She did. She talked about needing to execute on offense, whether it's making the free throws or knocking down jumpers. They can play defense all game, but they have to execute when it comes to shooting the ball.
Stady up close and missed. Stady's now 1 of 4 from the floor.
Jenna Stady has been one of the players on Georgia's offense that has such a great turnaround from year to year. And you can see, let's just take a moment to acknowledge the defense here. Dogs are going to need to score on this transition.
Nicholson saves it. Morrison from the wing knocks down the 3.
Q Morrison That's a statement needed to get things going for the Dogs. Like I said, she can shoot anywhere on the court, such an elite player. But I do want to point out that Javin Nicholson on that last drive, great effort keeping the ball in play and giving Q the opportunity to score.
Rebound by Coombs, and that'll be the end of the first quarter. LSU with a 16-11 lead after one quarter. Q Morrison on senior night has scored 5 of the Lady Dogs' first 11 points. And LSU has the 5-point lead as we head to the second quarter. LSU leading number 22, Georgia, 16-11 as we head to the second quarter. Tigers have lost 3 of their last 5 games after a season-best 3-game winning streak, but they started the season with a 1-4 non-conference record, and 6 of their next 8 opponents, Carly, are going to be in the top 25.
A tough stretch for LSU and honestly everyone in the SEC, but it has been a character-building year for the Tigers. A lot of their games have boiled down to a few fourth-quarter plays, dramatic endings as we've seen. And so tonight it's just going to be key to control the ball and execute on offense, especially in transition. But you know, Nikki Fargas needs and desires to get the win tonight.
And Coach Fargas told us she's optimistic the direction this team is going here as we head into February. He says, I see a team that takes their losses and finds the areas in which we need to improve.
And that's the key thing about having a roster that is senior heavy is these players have been through adversity. They know how to push back and how to flush the previous game, go in and attack the next one.
So LSU up 5 on Georgia as the second quarter now underway. And a great start for Trozzi, who has 7 points, matching her per game average, and we're just 10 minutes into the game.
Trozzi, the senior, has lit it up in the paint and just showing a dynamic force she is down by the bucket.
Stady with her second basket. Stady, a team leading 14.7 points per game, also leads 7.9 rebounds per game.
And she leads the SEC in block shots as well. She's played phenomenal this year, one of the most improved players in the SEC, and George is definitely happy about that improvement.
Afua with the basket. We've talked about Pointer playing close to home. Well, Afua played her high school ball at Tequila, which is only 35 miles away.
Yeah, quite a few homecomings here in Stegman.
Inside Stady. Great job by Stady to seal off the defender. 6 points for Stady. She leads Georgia in scoring.
Back-to-back points, that's got to be a huge confidence boost. And now we're really going to see Stady lock in and take the charge here for Georgia.
She's had 10 double-doubles in her last 24 games. 6 total this season after just 7 in her first 2 seasons combined, and we'll have a traveling call on Pointer.
And Jenna Stady, she is going to be a force down low. Look at her, not allowing LSU to box her out, is able to find her way to the basket using 6'5" height just to make her way to the rim, and that's an easy bucket right there for Stady. She's going to take the charge here for Georgia. Needs to make an impact down underneath the bucket for the Dogs to really take a lead in this game.
She participated in the senior night ceremonies. And if you were to see her when she first got here, her transfer from Maryland, you would probably not think that she would become the all-SEC player that she has become, but she has undergone a dramatic transformation in her game. Skill-wise, confidence-wise, the whole thing, and primarily her ability to dig in, get down low, and play tough defense.
Absolutely. You've just seen a shift in heart. Just have you seen a shift in ball right there. Michaela Coombs to the rim.
Coombs with the steal in the bucket. Georgia pulls to within 3. Pointer back the other way. Stays with it. And missed up close. Still no points for Kayla Pointer in this game. Long pass stolen by Cherry.
Now, as you can see, this is Georgia quickening the pace right now, trying to make LSU catch up to them. Michaela Coombs, great ball handling skills. She's going to make things happen. And sometimes, you know, the game can get out of their control, as you saw in that last possession. but they need to do that. They need to play Georgia basketball, and that's quick, that's fast, that's making things happen.
Afua puts it on the floor, missed the scoop shot, rebound by Nicholson. Conley goes by the defense. And they will count the basket.
And that is Gabby Connolly being Gabby Connolly. You see the quickness, the ability to drive to the basket, and a lot of heart on that play, also drawing the foul. Just the ability for her to lead this team tonight, coming off of that buzzer beater win. You got to know that she is feeling ready to rock and roll.
84.5% for Conley at the free throw line, and a chance to tie the game, which she does. That's our first tie of the game after Georgia had fallen behind. Actually, our second tie of the game after Georgia had fallen behind 6-0 to start. A 7-0 run for Georgia over the last 2 minutes.
Georgia right now flushing in and out a few of their players coming off the bench. Definitely a tactic to keep fresh legs on the court.
5 on the shot clock. Trazi. Offensive rebound by Afua, and she got fouled on her putback attempt. Maury Davenport will be called for the foul. Afua, one of the top offensive rebounders in the conference, number 4 in the SEC. You see also named to the 2020 SEC All-Defensive Team, and she's currently 3rd all-time in blocks at LSU, and she too has already graduated, earned her bachelor's degree.
She has a huge presence on the court, just big body, but agile, good mobility, and really is able to play gritty in the paint for LSU.
Missed that second free throw despite being the best free throw shooter on this LSU team. Nicholson had it swiped from behind. Young jukes, contact, bounces off it. Pointer got the rebound. Young gets it back. And Trazi takes a 3. Coombs. Georgia shooting just 35% from the floor to start this game, 7 for 20. Trazi spin move and beat Davenport.
And that's that mobility that I was talking about. She has no issues bodying people and facing up towards the rim and getting the job done.
Coach Fargas told us that Trazi can be a nightmare for people. And if she was going to have a breakout game, this was the game to do it. Awa Trazi averaging 7 points per game, 3 rebounds per game.
And Trazi, you can tell she's guarded, but it doesn't seem like she is at all because of her access to the basket. She's smooth, she's agile, and she's able to see a window and take it.
Team high 9 points for Awa Trazi so far tonight, and Afua has 7, so 16 from their 2 bigs. You got the feeling talking to Nikki Fargas this week that she really challenged her bigs to have big games, especially going up against Jenna Stady. And a shot clock violation on LSU. That'll take us to timeout with LSU on top, 23-20 here at the Stag.
The SEC Big 12 Challenge. This is about as good as it gets.
Oh! Are you serious?
Got it!
They can stroke it, baby.
That is big time. Count it. Yes!
What a heavyweight fight.
Back at Stegman Coliseum, LSU leading Georgia 23-20. Georgia has shot much better here in the second quarter. LSU shot much better in the first, and Coach Fargas told us they had to get off to a good start in the first quarter. They did what the coach wanted.
And LSU has shown their ability to score in the paint so far. They've been running the floor, and honestly, on Georgia's end, some shots just are not falling, but they're going to need to increase their possessions and, as a result, increase their field goals.
So overall, LSU shooting 38% and Georgia 35%, pretty even as the score might indicate, with 4+ to play here in the first half. Q Morrison, the assist leader on this Georgia team, running the point from the top of the circle. Barker launches the three and got it to go home.
Sarah Ashley Barker, a standout freshman on the Georgia roster already this season, 2-time SEC Freshman of the Week, coming off of one of those titles. When she gets in the rhythm, she's really hard to stop, especially from the key.
Coach Karen Lang told us they yell at her all the time to shoot the ball more. Her seniors yell at her, shoot the ball more. They feel like she could give them more offense and more shooting than she does.
Yeah, and she will come into her own. Obviously, she's a freshman. Sometimes you can be hesitant to shoot, but hey, if she's got the team supporting her and telling her, we're giving you the ball, take advantage of this, we're gonna see her confidence flourish, not only this season, but years to come. It's gonna be exciting to watch.
Coach Lang says she's done a really good job of, conforming to the rhythm of the college game. When she was in high school, she never came off the floor. As a college player, she's not starting. She's got to learn to come in and out of the game and contribute in short bursts.
And remembering back to my years as a freshman, that was one of the biggest adjustments, is having a different focus. You need to be locked in every single play, whether you're on the bench or on the court.
Tied at 23, third time we've been tied tonight. And remember, off the top, we told you this should be another tight contest, and LSU is specialized in those this season. They played a lot of them. In fact, the last all four games decided by 4 points or less.
They like to make it interesting.
Gets the bucket. That's her first of the game.
And that is surprising here. Second quarter, Pointer just now scoring. We mentioned she's leading the team in scoring, but won't be surprised if that bucket leads to more here in this contest.
And she'll bring it up the floor and quickly get it out on the wing to see. Being guarded by her BFF.
And Pointer able to move. She's shifting the defense. You can tell she just makes her way through two defenders. Just that agility to get to the basket is something she's really skilled at.
Well, there's very few players that can get in front of her defensively, and she's so adept at working in tight spaces. Stolen by Coombs into the hands of Morrison. And she'll take the three after being knocked off balance, and Stady with the tip in.
Stady, using her height to her advantage, is able to ricochet the ball off of her hands back into the net, off the rebound, and that is huge. But I do want to point out Michaela Coombs. I refer to her as a defensive back, you might say, because she is so effective on the defense, and honestly is a huge force, as you see right here.
And Georgia takes their first lead of the game with their defense. The steal and then the bucket by Coombs, and Georgia on top by 2.
A huge spark for Georgia from Michaela Coombs.
7 steals for the Lady Bulldogs tonight, and LSU has 7 as well. Georgia accustomed to it, and so is LSU. They're 4 and 5 in the conference respectively in steals. And they're 1 and 2 in the conference respectively in forcing turnovers.
And there you see it, the speed that comes from Coombs. Not only does she have the ball handling skills, but she can get drive to the basket. And like I said, that's a huge spark for Georgia, but she causes havoc on the court. She's able to force turnovers, make things happen on defense that contribute offensively as well.
Coombs was the Georgia Player of the Year, McDonald's All-American at Wesleyan in the Atlanta area, started her college career at UConn after 2 seasons transferred to Georgia, sat out last year, averaging 23 minutes a game, which is third most on the Georgia team.
And you know, she watched all last season, so I assume she was biting at the chops to get out on the court and actually contribute this year in a game for the Dogs.
4 turnovers in the last few minutes for LSU has led to this Georgia lead.
LSU's ball, but again, Coombs with the hustle and the heart, just trying to make things happen in any way she can. She's got great hands on defense, very quick, and you can see as a group, Georgia's defense right now just communicating more and really making things happen.
Baseline jumper and the miss by Young. Barker, the rebound and run out, and Coombs missed the layup.
Barker to Coombs, that one just didn't fall, but you can tell the tempo right now.
Pointer, three-pointer.
Quick pace.
LSU just 2 of their last 10 from the floor. Outscored 16-9 here in this second quarter, blocked by Stady. Conley, the fake, steps inside the arc. And Pointer, long pass to Trazi. Running the break, and C saves it. Back to Pointer, a little helter-skelter here. And Georgia comes away with it. On a broken floor, Barker, spin move, and got fouled on the play. Well, that was a little crazy.
That was a little bit crazy. We just watched a chess match back and forth here. But again, that's Sarah Ashley Barker. That is the hustle and the heart. And you can tell a little loose, you know, as a freshman, but she's doing everything she can, sacrificing her body to get to the net. And Jenna Stady proving to be a force, a wall, honestly, in the paint. And as we've seen, Trazi has been a force, so now it's time for Stady to continue to step up and really be a wall there, blocking all of the action there in the paint.
Sarah Ashley Barker missed both free throws. Those are the first 2 misses for Georgia at the line tonight. Final minute here in the first half. Georgia up by 2. They've trailed most of the half. LSU has contributed to that by going scoreless over the last 3.5 minutes. Petty with the left hand and the rebound, Stady. A hair's difference in second, shot clock and game clock to finish out this second quarter.
And that's Stady's 4th rebound of the game. Again, that is huge. She is going to need to step up, create a wall, and communicate to her surrounding defense in order to stop this LSU offense tonight.
Georgia running down the clock. Backdoor pass, Barker missed. Final seconds. Young. And that's the end of the first half as LSU missed their last 5 shots and a close to 4-minute scoring drought that allows Georgia to take the lead. 27-25 Lady Bulldogs as we head to the locker room here in Athens. Welcome back inside Stegman Coliseum. The 22nd ranked Georgia Lady Bulldogs with a 27-25 lead as we get ready for the start of the third quarter. Matt Stewart along with Carly Smith. Thanks for joining us here tonight in Athens, Georgia. It's been a night for the bigs. Both teams have gotten huge contributions from their bigs.
Yeah, the seniors have done damage. Trazi at forward. Let's take a look at her. Just her ability to make an impact low near the basket. She knows how to face up and attack the rim. Look at how smooth she is. She says, oh, can't move forward? That's fine. I'll shoot from here. And she really has just made such a strong presence and has contributed so much to the Tigers. And we can also take a look at the senior for the Dogs, Jenna Stady. playing strong on her senior night. She is showing great mobility. She's able to pivot towards the basket again, not defended there, but even when she is, she's able to keep her stamina and continue to endure the beating while she goes ahead and contributes again to this Georgia offense.
8 points and 4 rebounds in 17 minutes for Stady, who averages only 22 minutes per game as you take a look at our first half stats. And LSU has out-rebounded out-rebounded Georgia in that first half. LSU has not lost a game in which they've out-rebounded their opponent. They have not won a game in which they have been out-rebounded. So that'll be a key stat to watch here in this second half.
Absolutely, that's a huge stat. Another huge stat is just turnovers and ball control as well too. And I'm sure, you know, both teams went into the locker room and each coach is going to say we need to continue to make a presence and get those rebounds, score on transition, but also clean it up, honestly. Yeah. Control the ball.
LSU's turnovers hurt more. Georgia got 16 points compared to 9 off turnovers against LSU in that first half, and LSU did not finish the first half well, going scoreless for close to the last 4 minutes. And you see, for Georgia, over the last 4 games, they have been able to clean it up in the second half, and they'll be looking to do that tonight after committing 10 turnovers in the first half. But in all 4 games prior to this, most recent games, they've done a better job in the second half than the first, taking care of the basketball.
Look at the game against Arkansas. That's quite the statistic. You're talking 15 turnovers in the first half, and then not only breaking that down, turning it to 4 turnovers in the second, but it just shows the improvement from first half to second half. So Joni Taylor's definitely talking to her team on that. And
16 points and 9 rebounds. 16 of LSU's 25 points, 9 of their 22 rebounds have come from their 2 frontline players, Awatrazi and Faustina Fua.
The bigs going to work in this game, and Coach Fargas, she said coming into this, the offense is going to need to execute, and so far they've done that, and they've played at their pace, but also allowed to get the ball to the players down at the front of the court under the basket.
So a big night in the SEC, not only Georgia and LSU playing here tonight at Stegman Coliseum, a huge nationally televised non-conference game tonight in Fayetteville, Arkansas. The team that Georgia just beat on Monday night on a buzzer beater came back and beat the UConn Huskies tonight at Bud Walton Arena.
That is incredible. Connecticut, obviously, a standout performance. Everyone knows that, but Arkansas, it just shows you in the SEC, each week you're going to get tough opponents, and it does propel these teams to play very competitive basketball heading into the NCAA postseason.
And that, no doubt, will propel their postseason hopes. We'll take a look at that a little bit later in tonight's action, how Charlie Cream has them stacked up and what seeds they have them projected to be. Georgia right now projected as a number 3 seed in the NCAA tournament. And Charlie Cream does such a good job of projecting the NCAA tournament field. But Georgia right up there among the top teams in the SEC. Of course, South Carolina projected as a number 1 seed with their number 4 national ranking. And here's a look at those numbers. Texas A&M also projected as a number 3 seed, and that's who Georgia will play next on Sunday night on SEC Network.
Absolutely. Week in and week out. It takes endurance when you play in the SEC because this conference, like I said, is going to give you that postseason feel each game, and you have to be prepared mentally and physically to face that beating week in and week out.
Gabby Conley with her second bucket of the ball game. Four-point lead for Georgia. It's their largest lead of the game. And the scoring drought continues for LSU, stretching back to the end of that second quarter. Trazi pulls up in front of Nicholson and got it to bounce and bank off the backboard. First player in double figures tonight. She has 11.
Yeah, Trazi doing a great job of that court presence, but you know, her balls, they're falling in.
She's got great international experience, played for the French under-20 national team a couple of summers ago. Stady, rim out, and Caldwell cannot control the offensive rebound, but it was touched last by LSU. Awatrazi has really been a big help for Afua tonight. That was a big concern for Coach Fargas, how Faustine Afua would handle this Georgia front line, and Coach Fargas knew they needed to get a big game from Trozzi tonight, and they've gotten it.
And having that dynamic duo is huge because Faustine, yes, she's going to be guarded, so you go to Trozzi and vice versa. Just having that dynamic 1-2 at the bottom is clutch.
Nicholson guarding Trozzi. A double team fell on her. She had to get rid of it. 5 on the shot clock. And C had it stolen by Conley. Georgia's got a 3-on-2. And the block by Spencer, who trailed on defense, did a great job for LSU. And C traveled.
You can tell the momentum is picking up now for LSU. That is a monster block from Raquel Spencer, the redshirt senior, showing not only her ability to get tough and play ball, but also the amount of vertical and height that she's able to propel on the court.
New Orleans native who actually started her collegiate career at Texas A&M. Stady now in double figures. Three minutes into the third quarter, and Georgia's opened up a 4-point lead. Tiara Young gives it up now with 5 on the shot clock. And C hits the three-pointer. C, just her second bucket of the ball game on 7 shots. And LSU is back to within 1.
And Carly C, that's a beautiful shot. She's been quiet today, but you could tell she knew that this was the look she wanted. She took it, and she had great help in case of a rebound down by the basket from her LSU team as well.
And Trozzi continues to do her damage, now with 13 points and 7 rebounds. Scoreboard around the SEC on this Thursday night. And of course, Arkansas, number 19, knocking off number 3 UConn at Bud Walton Arena. The big score to highlight this evening. And South Carolina and Mississippi State, number 4 Gamecocks, number 21 Bulldogs, currently underway on ESPN.
That is a huge win for Arkansas. And anything can happen, especially in a year like this. You know, there's so many uncertainties, so you just have to show up each and every game expecting to win.
Blocking foul on Nicholson. Double team for Trozzi. She gets out of it. And Young off back iron, rebound Stady, had it swiped away, then Conley gets tied up. The pointer was there to tie her up, and the ball is going to belong to LSU.
Georgia does play at a very quick pace. However, you have to make sure, again, as we've mentioned all throughout the game, ball control is so vital, especially when you're able to gain back that possession. You've got to take advantage of those opportunities.
Only 3 3-pointers from these two teams combined. Probably not a big surprise given that they're 13th and 14th in the conference, respectively. Georgia number 13 and LSU last in threes per game.
Sure, not a lot of contribution from the perimeter. And as we've seen, the job has gotten done inside in the paint.
Fouled on Georgia coming off the inbounds. So Conley is called for the foul. That'll be the second team foul on Georgia. It's the first on Conley. Yep, that was a foul.
Yeah, Conley, a little bit of in her grill, I guess you could say, on that last play.
Gabby Conley, the hero on Monday night, hitting the 18-footer with 9/10 of a second left to lift Georgia to a 75-73 victory over Arkansas on this floor. And tonight, the Razorbacks back on their home floor, knock off UConn. How about that? That's a resume builder for everybody. So Georgia's pulling for Arkansas there. That's right. We beat you, you go beat UConn. Helps everybody.
Helps Georgia out for sure, excuse me. Yeah, no, they want all their opponents that they have beat to do well from here on out, because that RPI, you know, as the season progresses, it does make Georgia look a lot better.
So Tiara Young at the foul line. And here's a look at the Georgia Lady Bulldogs NCAA tournament resume. It's not a good one. I mean, it's not a bad one. I was going to say it's a great one. How about that? 13-2 overall, 5-2 in the SEC. Their net is 14 with quality wins over Georgia Tech, Florida, Ole Miss, at Tennessee, Arkansas, and Charlie Cream has them projected as a number 3 seed. 6-2 against the net top 100, 3-1 against the net top 25. And the net has kind of replaced the RPI as the measuring tool of preference by the NCAA Tournament Committee.
Yes, and Georgia, it's going to be interesting not only to see how they finish out the season, but also when they head down to Greenville, South Carolina, to see how they do in SEC play at the tournament and then postseason after that. So they've got great games ahead of them and some preparation for the tournament.
1 on the shot clock as I think that's Jalen Cherry crumples to the floor. Looks like she might have gotten hit in the face.
And that is a huge basket off the hands of Q Morrison.
Oh, yeah.
But you can see that Jordan Isaacs, some physical contact with LSU. So let's take a look at this. Morrison able to create separation and beautiful buzzer beater from the perimeter. But yeah, definitely need to check out, put some medical attention towards LSU right now, see what's going on over there.
So the play is under review. You know, did not look like anything illegal to me. She set a solid screen, and Cherry just had the misfortune of running right into her right shoulder.
Correct. The physicality of the game.
But that's for the officials to determine here. It was a solid screen. It was textbook basketball. Cherry just didn't see it coming.
And that's something that Georgia has done, especially in the second half. They're making LSU's defense move. And the more that you can shift and create confusion from side to side of the court, the more opportunities Georgia will have to get those good looks and to have solid baskets.
So Cherry was guarding Morrison, preoccupied with her, did not see Isaac step out and set the screen.
And Jordan Isaacs, that's a big body, right? That is someone that you do not want to run into, but she, again, is laser focused on the movement from Morrison, doesn't see the screen, and she pays for that. Hope she's okay.
We're still looking. They do count it as a 3-point basket for Morrison, so Georgia 1-point lead, and nothing illegal about the screen set by Isaacs.
Morrison pushing the tempo.
Goes all the way coast to coast and count it. Q Morrison takes it coast to coast, and a chance at a 3-point play when we get back with the Lady Bulldogs on top by 3 here at Stegman. Number 22, Georgia on top of LSU, 36-33 as we move into the second half of this third quarter. And the recap of the night, number 19 Arkansas knocking off number 3 UConn. That was a game that came together late because of some scheduling changes due to COVID. And Arkansas, UConn, maybe the Huskies are thinking maybe we didn't want to play that game after all. But how about Chelsea Dungy, the leading scorer in the SEC, season high 37 points tonight after scoring 25 on Monday night here at Stegman against Georgia. And the other marquee game going on, South Carolina, 14-point lead on Mississippi State in the first half.
And that's going to shake up the rankings a little bit with Arkansas, that win over Connecticut. But Dungy, wow, 37 points. What a phenomenal game for her.
But that's that victory for Arkansas is the proverbial tide that raises all ships in the SEC. That's going to help everybody out in this conference.
Yeah, the SEC's not mad about that at all.
Foul's going to be called on LSU. C's going to be called for the foul away from the basketball. Only 17 points for LSU over the last 15+ minutes after they scored 16 in the first quarter.
I think a lot of that contributes to just ball handling and being able to take care of the basketball. We've seen Georgia steps it up, started the second half, and we've seen that in the score so far today.
Strong defense down low by Afua, who's number 6 in the conference in block shots. And a foul again away from the ball for LSU. Back-to-back possessions, offensive fouls away from the basketball.
And you can tell that Coach Vargas not too happy about that. Come on, team, what are we doing? Let's take control of the basketball and play smart and play effective on offense.
Although I think her agitation was more directed at the officials that time. And now we have a traveling call on Stady. And she grabs her lower left leg. And she briefly left the Arkansas game on Monday with an injury as well. Looks like she's okay, though.
Again, physicality under the basket, and it looks like her shin area she goes down and grabs could just be a little bit of leftover tension in her leg, again, from Arkansas on Monday.
Afua left open at the foul line, follows her miss, and then put it on the floor and had it swiped by Morrison. Nice bounce pass, and Coons with the layup.
That's a beautiful play, and that was built on the foundation of Q Morrison's heart and her hustle. She's able to be scrappy on defense, force a turnover, and then you've got Michaela Coombs, her speed to meet her down by the basket. Nobody around her to guard. An easy bucket for Georgia.
Biggest lead of the game for the Lady Bulldogs as we approach 3 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Pointer still has only one bucket and misses the three-pointer at the horn. Now 1 for 5 shooting from the floor for Kayla Pointer in her home state game. Three on the shot clock. Morrison, air ball. Lady Bulldogs on an 8-0 run over the last 2.5 minutes.
And that possession was the first time LSU really put a stop to Georgia so far in the third quarter. And, you know, you saw Isaac have to kick it back out to Morrison, force her to make that shot. LSU's going to need to force Georgia to shoot, especially from beyond the arc.
Things really getting physical away from the basketball. A flurry of fouls away from the basketball. Typically, you'll see the fouls centered around the possession of the basketball, but in this case, we've got a lot of contact going on away from the ball. And Sherry, who got hurt on that screen set by Isaac, checks back in the ball game. And Young will come off the floor. Georgia has done a good job of shutting down Young and Pointer in this game combined. Those two have only 7 points tonight. And they've been adding about 35 points per game in conference play, and Georgia has slammed the door on them. Pointer at the foul line.
And that's a foul on Sarah Ashley Barker. You know, some confusion on Georgia's side. Again, this game is physical, right? And so we've seen Quite a few fouls called, but just have to take advantage of every time LSU or Georgia gets to the line.
That's just the second free throw attempt and made by Pointer tonight. She's number 2 in the conference in free throws attempted and number 5 in free throws made.
Yeah, surprisingly quiet, and you know you have to give credit to Q Morrison, who again takes pride in guarding the best shooter on the opposing team's offense.
Good defense down low to deny Coombs. We'll see if Porter comes to life here working against the freshman. Screen set by Trazi, and Porter the miss. Pointer, pardon me, 1 for 6 from the floor. And Davenport missed up close.
Davenport, a freshman, does not always play like a freshman, but she's going to wish that she had that one back. Was well guarded underneath the basket, though.
And Pointer missed the scoop shot. Ball kicked out of bounds by Georgia. So 4-point lead for Georgia. They've outscored LSU 12-10 in the quarter. LSU has not scored a bucket in over 5 minutes, and Georgia's gone over 2 minutes without scoring. Turning into a battle of attrition as we head to the fourth.
Feisty on both ends of the court.
Trazi, drop back. Wow. And a big collision underneath as Davenport ends up on her back. And we might point out Georgia playing without Mallory Bates tonight. She injured her ankle in practice this week and was considered a game time decision. And we have not seen her on the floor here tonight, so we assume that game time decision was a no.
And you have to feel for Mallory Bates. Last year she tore her ACL, so for her to be out on an injury, you just wish all the best for her. But it is clutch that Georgia even has the opportunity to put Davenport on the court, obviously with the NCAA allowing transfers to immediately be eligible and play. You know that Georgia's happy about having her and allowing her to step up huge, especially when you're missing a player like Mallory Bates.
Davenport fouled on her shot attempt. Maury Davenport, the transfer from Rutgers, who got the surprise this season back in December, early Christmas gift when it was announced that all transfers were immediately eligible. Her plan was to sit out the entire year per NCAA rules, and then the NCAA changed the rules.
And you have to think that both teams tonight aren't taking any game for granted. Not only the opportunity to play, but the opportunity to travel and you know, to play conference games and have a future, have a postseason on the horizon. You really cannot take that for granted.
Just the third free throw make and attempt for Davenport this season. Remember, she's only playing in her 8th game. She hits them both, and Georgia's back up by 6. Difference of 8 seconds in the shot clock and the game clock. Afua the miss and Davenport the rebound. Again, Davenport getting some extra run here in the second half with Bates apparently out with that injury. Shot clock off for Georgia.
Davenport and Isaacs really needing to step up in the paint without the presence of Jenna Stady on the court, giving her her legs some rest. But so far, so good. They've done a great job.
Afua with the block. And Coombs stepped out of bounds before she could get rid of the ball. And 1/10 of a second left on the clock, and you can't do anything with 1/10 of a second. And that is the end of the third quarter. It was senior night for the Lady Bulldogs. Emotional night for those 4 seniors, including Jenna Stady. And we'll take a look back at the ceremony when we get back and start the fourth quarter. Start of the fourth quarter, 22nd ranked Georgia up by 6 on LSU, expanding on their 2-point halftime lead. Senior night for the Lady Bulldogs here at Stegman Coliseum as the Georgia program got a chance to honor their 4 graduated seniors already working on their masters. Gabby Conley signing the Bulldog degree in criminal justice. Jenna Stady, who actually started her collegiate career at Maryland. Big emotional hug for head coach Joni Taylor. And then Q Morrison, perhaps the most emotional of them all. All of them crediting Joni Taylor. You see the tears streaming from Joni's eyes as well. These 4 seniors, the cornerstone of what the Lady Bulldogs are hoping will be the best Georgia season in years at 13-2 overall, 5-2 in the conference. Hoping to get back to the NCAA tournament, Carly, for the 3rd time in Joni's 6 seasons.
And head coach Joni Taylor, she's made a statement this year. The team has revolved around a hashtag show up on the court, but also show up off the court. And it's a huge feat to see all of those seniors in graduate school. And I think back to my senior day, it's a thin line. You don't want to get too emotional, but you also want to take the time to reflect. It surely has been a unique season for the Dogs and for everyone in the SEC and beyond. But everyone seems to be making the most of it and take advantage, like I said, of that opportunity to play the game that they all love.
You know, and typically senior night, senior day is the last regular season home game, but we've seen that across the board in almost all the sports. We saw it in football as well, where because of the uncertainty of the season and the COVID-19 pandemic, and you never know when your season's going to be shut down or a game's going to be postponed, they wanted to go ahead and make sure that these 4 seniors were honored with the senior night still right here in the middle of the regular season.
And it is huge. You do want to honor those seniors for sometimes 4+ years that these players have contributed to the program. And Georgia having a great season so far. So you definitely want to give credit where credit is due.
They went 26-7. A couple of years ago, making it to the 2nd round of the NCAA tournament. They would like a deeper run this year. And I like the way the team is built. It's built old. You got veterans. You got 4 players that have played together for, you know, at least 3 years when you count Stady and the fact that she transferred in. And a lot of times that's a great recipe come NCAA tournament time, that experience.
Absolutely. And the Georgia team does operate like a family. You can see the chemistry on and off the court, and that won't go anywhere come postseason. Can guarantee that.
Georgia with the 4 seniors, and then 8 players averaging 14+ minutes per game, and 3 players averaging 9+ points per game.
Georgia does have that nice component of having depth off the bench, and you always know that when you have a team that is veteran heavy, those players are pouring into the younger generation. We see a lot of players off the bench, fresh legs throughout the game, a lot of hustle and a lot of heart. Good things to come to this program.
Coombs, the scoop shot. And no doubt as you look ahead down the road, Michaela Coombs will be, you know, one of the leaders on the floor every night. And certainly she already has that leadership voice as a 4th-year junior. Young lady who started at Wesleyan in Atlanta, went to UConn. But she's coming off the bench this year. Next year, she's going to be one of those starters, getting even more minutes than the 23 minutes per game she's getting right now.
Absolutely, and her quickness, her fast-paced play corresponds really well with a lot of Georgia's depth. We've got a lot of players on the Georgia roster who can play quick, fast, and have great ball handling skills in the mix of it all.
Young with a strong drive to the hoop and one. So Tiara Young, who has played so well here in the month of January, starting to pick things up.
She has been a star off the bench for LSU and takes a hit, but a huge confident drive to the basket. She's really coming in clutch, like you mentioned, towards the next half of the season. And
Coach Nikki Fargas feels like Tiara Young could be one of the best in the SEC when all things are said and done. She's just a sophomore out of Shreveport. Has a great mid-range game, something you don't often see from guards these days. Typically guards are three-point shooters, but she's got a tremendous three-point game and shoots 46% from the floor.
it's the court vision, the game intelligence too. She's not just taking shots that she cannot rely on her teammates either to rebound or just not smart shots. She knows when to shoot a basketball.
Barker with the offensive rebound and shoots Georgia back into the lead. Afua battling with Stady, and Stady makes contact.
And so that last rebound from Sarah Ashley Barker shows the hustle to not give up on a play, to be able to turn around, show that vertical, rebound the basketball, and put it back up. That's huge. That's a relentless effort to see from a freshman.
Afua with the free throw make. She's now 2 of 3 at the line, has 8 points and 6 rebounds. Coach Vargas says Faustine really tough on herself. She was told by the coach, you need to be tough on the other team. She's done a great job here tonight, along with her partner, Awatrazi. They've combined for 21 points, and C with the steal. Has Cherry on the wing and takes it herself. LSU back in the lead again. Kind of gotten on a seesaw here with the lead back and forth in the fourth quarter.
And this game is so tight, and Coach Vargas said it often boils down to those last fourth quarter plays. Who can execute, who can make the basketball, and who can take advantage of scoring on transition.
Stady goes right at Afua and is fouled by Afua.
And again, scoring on transition, like I just mentioned, breakaway, is able to sort of pause, reevaluate, find the rim easily. And that's a huge basket to go ahead for LSU.
Jenna Stady hit the free throw. She's #1 in the conference, 84% from the free throw line. 89% last year, was the second highest single season free throw percentage in program history. And it's kind of extraordinary that the top free throw shooters on these two teams are the biggest players on the team. Typically, your big players aren't as good at free throw shooting as your guards, but that's not the case with either one of these teams.
Yeah, that is interesting, and you know, it just shows their versatility, their ability to block and to get big down low, but also then contribute to their team and really help out wherever's needed.
Well, it certainly has been a stat stuffer for him, because you got to figure big players going to get fouled a lot down on that low block. You can really pick up a lot of points for yourself if you can make those free throws.
Absolutely.
Barker behind the back in the open floor. Tied at 45 with 6 to play here at Stegman Coliseum. Georgia 8-1 here at home this year, 3-1 at home in the SEC. C with the steal, and then a foul is going to be called on Isaacs.
So it looked like some confusion for Sarah Ashley Barker. Isaacs sort of in the way there on that last play. Wouldn't be surprised to see Georgia just increase that on-court communication these next couple of plays.
And remember what we told you at halftime. LSU has not lost a game in which they have out-rebounded their opponent, nor have they won a game in which they have been out-rebounded. They lead right now 34-31 in the rebounds. It's a real litmus test for them. Afua after Stady tipped it up in the air.
Wow. Now, that's diligence to stay on the ball.
Stady, it comes right back to her. 14 now for Stady to go along with her 8 rebounds. Meantime, Trazi and Afua have combined for 23 and 14. Step back, Young, and 1. Wow. Last 4 games for LSU decided by 4 points or less. Looks like we've got another one of those here tonight. Tiara Young will be at the foul line when we get back.
Are you serious, America?
This is not a final exam. This is a midterm. However you want to slice it. This has a big feel to it.
.447 to play here at Stegman Coliseum. LSU trying to pull into a tie with Georgia in the SEC standings at 5-3 and leading by 2. They've outscored the Lady Bulldogs 12-6 here in the fourth quarter. And Tiara Young, who will be at the foul line attempting to complete a three-point play, has 7 points and has not missed a shot here in the fourth.
And Tiara Young has been the impact player here in the fourth quarter. Not only is her floor vision tremendous, but she's also created opportunities for her teammates as well, kind of being in that quarterback guard position for LSU.
Young, with her 13th point, gives LSU a 3-point lead. Matt Stewart along with Carly Smith, thanks for joining us here in Athens. Big one in the SEC standings. Hangs in the balance here. Barker open on the other side, pulls inside the arc. And rebound controlled by LSU, knocked away by Q Morrison before they could start the break. On a night when Kayla Pointer, their leading scorer, has been held to 4, they've gotten 13 from Young and Trazi and 10 from Afua, and lead Georgia by 3.
Yeah, Pointer's surrounding teammates have definitely picked up the slack in that area, but you think about it, she's averaging 19.9 points per game in SEC play. Tonight, she's really been held, and again, you can contribute some of that to Q Morrison, who you saw her on that last play. Scrappy defense and never quits on a play.
And a scrappy rebound by Cherry to keep this offensive possession going for LSU, and Morrison comes up with the steal. Barker in a broken floor. Had it knocked away from behind, and she touched it last. So how crazy is the SEC? Monday night, number 22 Georgia beats number 19 Arkansas. Tonight, number 19 Arkansas beats number 3 UConn, while unranked LSU is trying to knock off Georgia.
Anything can happen, and there's no days off in the SEC. You know that each game you're going into, you're putting up a fight.
Five on the shot clock. C in trouble, gives it up to Young with 1 and got the shot off. And last touch by Stady. Fresh 30 seconds on the clock. Make that a fresh 20 seconds on the clock for LSU.
LSU carrying the momentum right now. You can tell their 6 feet separated bench quite ecstatic after that play. Possession right now. Each team needs possession and to take advantage of the opportunities that are given to them as time comes down to the wire.
3 on the clock. Young, ball in her hands again at the shot clock, buzzer. And LSU up by 5.
Kiana Young, automatic, especially in this fourth quarter. What a force. She sees, she shoots.
And Georgia turns it over at a most inopportune time. Georgia in a very dangerous spot here, already down 5, cannot afford to go down by 7 or 8 here with 2 minutes to play.
Georgia needs a stop, and they know it.
LSU has outscored Georgia 17-6 in the fourth quarter. And Pointer fouled on her drive. That bucket will not count.
So Pointer has been a little quiet, but Kiana Young helping her teammate out, Tiara Young helping her teammate out. You know, I'll pick up some slack for you. I'll shoot the ball.
15 points for Young tonight on 6 of 13 shooting. Kayla Poiter, 12 points below her per game average here tonight. Playing back in her home state, probably for the final time in her collegiate career. Hit the second of the 2 free throws and a 6-point lead for LSU. Time running down. LSU trying to get an upset here in Athens. A lot riding on this game in the SEC standings. If LSU can pull off the upset, we will have a 4-way tie for 4th in the SEC with Alabama, Georgia, Kentucky, and LSU all at 5-3. South Carolina is about to improve to 8-0, has a big lead on Mississippi State. Tennessee, 3-point lead with 1 minute to play on Ole Miss. And of course, the big story of the night was out of conference with number 19 Arkansas, the 9th place team in the SEC, knocking off number 3 UConn 90-87.
Talk about an upset win, and again, that does no harm for the SEC standings or any team in the SEC. Obviously, Georgia beat Arkansas last on Monday, but a lot of 5-3s, a lot of teams evenly matched, and each game just becomes more and more vital as we head towards the SEC tournament.
So Georgia with the ball, down 2 scores, 2 3-pointers, but they've hit only 3 of those tonight, 3 of 13. They've come 2 from Morrison, 1 from Barker. Does Georgia have another buzzer beater in them tonight after knocking off Arkansas on a last-second shot on Monday? Stady fouled by Afua. So Stady will be at the line here. 2 of 2 at the line. Georgia 10 of 12 at the line as a team. Stady 14 points, 8 rebounds.
Obviously, every bucket is so crucial right now for Georgia. And as we saw last week on Monday against Arkansas, Connolly with the last-second buzzer shot, she said, I make that shot all the time. So that's the mentality these players have to take, is not to count the clock, but to keep their composure and just continue to play basketball.
Georgia's 4 seniors have accounted for 36 of their 48 points tonight. But Georgia's down 5 right now, and LSU has the ball. They've been milking the clock all night. You can expect them to roll it down to under 5 seconds on the shot clock before they shoot.
And LSU came into Segment Coliseum and played at their tempo. They did take control a lot of the times of that pace.
How about Afua there? There was no whistle. She's got 12 and a 7-point lead, and Georgia in trouble. Stady, the turnaround, gives her 17. It's back to 5. Georgia goes to full court press.
A huge turnaround shot there from Jenna Stady. She said, I can't make it to the basketball. That's fine. I'll shoot it from here.
And Conley's going to foul C and put her at the foul line. So Carly C will be at the foul line. 73% free throw shooter for an LSU team that is only 62% from the line collectively. 10 of 16 tonight, right at that number. Big one right here. And Georgia down 6 after the miss. Conley close to where she hit the shot the other night. Off the mark this time. Caldwell kept it alive. And a foul called on Sherry.
And that's huge to stop the clock, regain possession.
Only the third team foul for LSU, so Georgia's not in a shooting situation. Coombs had it knocked away, and it was touched last by LSU. 15 on the shot clock for the Lady Bulldogs. Down 6 with 42 on the game clock. Inside to Stady. Stady with the left hand, gingerly off the backboard. 19 for her. Georgia down 4. And Georgia goes full court press here, and a timeout called by Fargus.
Jenna Stady makes herself available down low, is able to pivot, and with the left hand, get the bucket over top of Afua.
Jenna Stady, 19 points, 8 rebounds, 8 of 16 from the floor, 3 of 4 at the line in 34 minutes, a lot more time than she typically plays. She's had a great game here tonight, but it has been offset by Trazi and Afua, who've combined for 25 and 14. And Georgia's backcourt has not contributed as typically they do. Conley only 5 points tonight. Morrison has added 11, but Caldwell only 4.
And Jenna has anchored that front court for sure. Her presence has been vital throughout the night, but you're right, not seeing a lot of action from the guards, the Georgia guards in this contest.
And what's extraordinary about this LSU lead is they have it with only 5 points from their star pointer tonight.
That says a lot.
Inbounds comes to Cherry, and she got fouled right away. So Cherry at the foul line. Came into the game only 3 of 8 for the entire season. She's 1 of 2 tonight at the foul line. Back to a 5-point lead for LSU. And she hit them both. Clutch free throws by Jalen Cherry, the senior.
That is absolutely clutch. That gives LSU the confidence now. 34 seconds left on the clock. Game's not over until the final buzzer sounds, but that's a clutch free throw performance.
And Carly, you saw the reaction by the LSU bench. She had hit only 3 free throws the entire season. She's hit 3 here tonight,
wow.
And those last 2 might be the ones that secure the victory for LSU. They've got Ole Miss coming up on Sunday at the PMAC, and that game on SEC Network Plus. And then next Thursday night, after Georgia plays Texas A&M on Sunday, LSU will follow the Lady Bulldogs to College Station and take on the Aggies next Thursday night. And there you see South Carolina, Kentucky, and Arkansas. As we pointed out earlier, 6 of their final 8 teams, including tonight's contest with Georgia against teams in the top 25.
It's time to hunker down, focus, take care of the LSU bodies week to week, making sure that physically everyone's ready to go out and give it their all.
Coombs got swiped, and that might do it. Cherry with the steal, and how about Jalen Cherry coming up big here in the last minute of the ball game with clutch free throws and then a steal.
And that's the defense that's using her hands and her body to take the ball away, and you can tell her speed right there, had to get fouled at the end. But what a clutch performance number 1 has made on the court. Final minute of the ball game, she's been such an effective factor on the court.
Young lady from Pascagoula, Mississippi, misses the free throw right there, leaves the door open for Georgia. But quite frankly, she'll have to miss this one too for Georgia to have even a remote chance, you would think. And she does.
She does.
And a timeout called by Georgia. Or did Georgia call the timeout? I think, yeah. I think Georgia did call the timeout there. As you take a look at the Lady Bulldogs' upcoming schedule. Again, the big ball game with the Aggies on Sunday. the importance of which not diminished by a loss here, but a little bit of the pizzazz taken out of that matchup if Georgia does indeed fall to LSU here tonight. And then out about Alabama, Auburn, when they're back here in 2 weeks at Stegman Coliseum.
And this was a very competitive LSU team coming in. 2 out of the last 3 of their games they have won. Out of those games, Missouri, South Carolina was a loss, but then another win against Texas A&M. And so they've been playing very high quality basketball coming into this game tonight.
Georgia elects to take it in the front court. Morrison forces up a 3 and air ball. And that probably will do it for Georgia. And LSU 19 seconds away from coming into Stegman Coliseum and getting a big win over the 22nd ranked Lady Bulldogs.
And it's interesting, we talked about those 4-point deficits or wins. It's come very dramatic in the fourth quarter. So this has been, in terms of looking at their past previous games, quite a bit of a lead for LSU heading towards the end of the game. And
Nikki Fargas said defense and board play will be the key in this game on Thursday night, and she was right on the money. They've held Georgia to 35% shooting from the floor, 3 of 15 from behind the three-point line, and they've out-rebounded the Lady Bulldogs 39-35, a Georgia team that came into the contest number 3 in the SEC in rebounds per game, and they're going to out-rebound them here tonight. And more importantly for LSU, they're going to get the win. Take a look at the final numbers there. Georgia committing the 19 turnovers, and that certainly was detrimental to their cause, as well as LSU picked up 17 points off those 19 turnovers. Game not over by any means, but it's going to be very difficult for Georgia here, with Tiara Young stepping up to the foul line. She's got 15 points tonight, 3 of 4 at the line. She'll have to miss them both, and Georgia would have to pull off some kind of miracle here and get 2 3-pointers. And Young putting this game away with the free throw right there. She's going to end up with the team high honors for LSU, 16 points tonight, matching what she has done in the previous 6 games. She has become a big story here in the new year for LSU. After averaging only 6 points per game in their first 7 games, Tiara Young has averaged 16 points per game in the last 6, and she's got 16 again here tonight with a huge fourth quarter.
And that's the way you want to turn the corner. She has stepped into such an effective role for LSU. She can take it to the basket, drive to the rim, and get a foul called. Also, she can step back, sink a jumper, and also has great court vision. Received a pass, automatic shot, automatic basket.
Prophetic words from Coach Fargas. She can get her shot off and dismantle a defense. She is going to be special. And Georgia learned that the hard way tonight here in the fourth quarter as Young put on a show in this final period.
And that's got to be exciting for LSU to have a sophomore, Tiara Young, who you have seen really excel and perform this season from shooting and have the ability to shoot the ball but also play quality defense on the opposite end.
Young with 12 of her 17 points here in the final period as LSU has outscored the Lady Bulldogs 25-11 here in the fourth, and they're going to come from behind and get the win. Coombs gets it in. Caldwell spins and misses. Pointer the rebound, and Kayla Pointer in her home state going to finish the night with only 5, but she's going to care little about that as her Tigers teammates get the win.
A win is a win, and that was a full-on team effort from LSU. Coach Fargas is going to be happy about that win, but it's back to the drawing board because they have a tough stretch ahead of them. Every week in SEC play, you're playing against the best, but hey, LSU's going to celebrate this one as we see right now. You bet they are. 7-7 now, 5-3 in the SEC in a 4-way tie for 4th that includes Georgia as the Lady Bulldogs fall to 13-3. And now for Carly Smith and our entire SEC Network team, I'm Matt Stewart. Good night from Stegman Coliseum, where the
the Tigers pull off an upset of the Lady Bulldogs.